Hello, viewer. You can tell this is serious because there's no music playing. A year ago, I made a video essay called The Bizarre World of Fake Video Games, and I really loved making that video. But you can imagine my shock when the publisher of Vermis, HoloPress, reached out to me and asked if I wanted to create an entire book about fake video games. A year later, that is exactly what we did. A high-quality, hardcover book filled with reviews, previews, and retrospectives on games that never existed. I scoured the internet looking for the most insane and beautiful fake video games I could find, and working with the artists who created them, as well as our graphic designer Marco, who is just one of the most inhumanly talented people I've ever met, I am so proud of what we made, and you can pre-order it today. The book is the first in a new HoloPress series called the UDWFG Essays, and will be available in two versions, a regular edition and a special collector's edition, which will include an A4 print signed by me, as well as Plastaboo, the creator of Vermis, who by some miracle, we got to do the cover for this book. And as an added bonus for both versions, we'll be including a special holographic sticker sheet for the first 1,000 pre-orders. The book is scheduled to release at the end of October, and I'll actually be attending the Luca Comics and Games Festival to celebrate its launch. Shipments will be taking place in late November, but pre-orders are open today for a very limited time. Link is in the description. I hope it's obvious at this point, but I don't sell shit on this channel that I don't really believe in, and I am so proud of this book and everyone who worked on it. And I hope you enjoy it too. Okay, thank you. Hello gamers. I'm officially back from my self-imposed hiatus, which means two things. One, that streams will be returning this Friday, I think at 11 a.m. EST, somewhere thereabouts. And two, I'm back because I'm real fucking mad. That's right, this is a video where someone is angry about something on the internet. And the thing I'm mad about is, are you ever watching a TV show and you love it? It's like the best thing ever. It's like makes you so happy when you watch it, and it gives you so much to think about, and you tell it to everyone, and it's just a magical experience. And then there's a season break, and then it comes back, and all of a sudden it feels like fan fiction of itself. Well, viewer, today is a tragic day where I must declare that has happened to one of my favorite TV shows of the last decade. And the TV show I am talking about is The Bear. I absolutely adore the first two seasons of The Bear. I would say that second season in particular is, episode for episode, one of the best seasons of television I have ever watched, featuring two episodes in particular that are two of all-time greatest episodes I've ever seen of anything. These are two episodes I would put alongside with some of the best episodes of Sopranos, of Wire, of 6 Feet Under, of Mad Men, just fucking phenomenal television. And if you are not familiar, The Bear is this show about this highfalutin chef. Basically, after his brother dies, he takes over his brother's rundown old sandwich shop and tries to turn it into like a real restaurant. And it's about him trying to process his brother's loss. It's about him trying to get over the abusive workplace he suffered at the hands of his old boss. And it's about him not trying to pass on that trauma to his new head chef, or his new sous chef, Io Adabri. And just a phenomenal show. It's a show so good that the backlash started to it immediately. Everyone was like, The Bear's amazing, and then everyone was like, no, it's not, and then everyone was like, no, we're only joking. It is. It's that fucking good. Cinematography, acting, writing, every episode was just fucking beautiful. The peak of that, as I mentioned to me, was season 2. Absolutely incredible season of television. My personal favorite episode was based around this character called Richie. And Richie is this character where he was the old best friend of the brother who died, and kind of like the not co-owner, but he helped the brother run this diner. But then when Carmy, the new chef, comes back and tries to reinvent the restaurant, Richie has basically this whole existential crisis about like, where does he belong? Right? Where does he belong in this new environment, this new workspace, as well as his wife's gotten divorced, his daughter has a new stepdad now, and he's great, the stepdad's great, and so Richie is this character just permanently out of time, like just his day is over, the life he once knew is gone. And so in this particular episode, Carmy, the guy who now runs the restaurant, the brother of the deceased brother, sends him to work at this like 5-star elite restaurant. And like Richie starts working there, and the first thing he has to do is polish forks. And he polishes forks all fucking day. And he's completely like, I don't get the point of this. Like, this just feels humiliating and demeaning, and I'm being insulted by being made to do this. But then, like, he gets into this conversation with this other server, and it's like this incredible realization where he realizes this other guy he's polishing the forks with really fucking cares about polishing forks, and he really cares about creating meaning through showing care to other people, and the way he shows care through other people is by making the most fucking spotless forks, right? And there used to be a sign in my old jiu-jitsu place that I loved, and it used to say, do small things with great care. And that's what this entire episode embodies. It's this character learning to like express himself through doing small things well. And like, he struggles and he screams in his car because he doesn't understand it, but he gets over it, and he comes to understand that the reason he's never achieved anything is because he's never really dedicated himself to the small things, to the finer details, to like actually paying attention, caring, and being something. And I swear to God, if you haven't fucking seen it, I'm jealous of you. Go watch The Bear season 1 and 2. Absolutely just some of the best television you will ever watch. And then we hit season 3, and I don't know what happened. Like, I'm sure I could look up the writers, and there's been a bunch of changes. There's been something. A part of it is like, I think that it became a victim of its own success, because what happens is you start getting that Arrested Development season 4 syndrome. The Bear is a show about a bunch of really talented character actors all being placed in the same room in a high-pressure environment and forced to scream at each other. And you see all these characters' issues and traumas bubble to the surface through cooking, through restaurant management. And it made me care so much about those things. I have read several books on restaurant management. Unreasonable Hospitality is one of the best books I've ever read. Kitchen Confidential is one of the best books I've ever read, and I took so much from that and like put them into like making videos and podcasts, and like The Bear season 1 and 2 are seasons of television so good, they made me grow as a person a little bit. And then you get to season 3 and immediately something feels off. You're getting all these way more kind of segmented off episodes where a character like goes and does something, you know, and it's like they're isolated from the other characters, and it feels kind of weird and like not like The Bear. It's still shot like The Bear, all the actors are still there, but it feels like a script jumping through compromise after compromise after compromise. And you get episodes where like it's not really about food preparation anymore. It's not about like looking after the tiny things. It's not about like anything. It becomes this show that is so in love with its own characters that it's happy to just point a camera at them and let you just be with them for 30 minutes and show absolutely nothing significant or meaningful or anything. Like there's one episode where it's Sugar, who's like one of my favorite characters, and she's basically pregnant for the whole episode. She's been pregnant for a while, I guess. And it's about like her giving birth, but the whole thing is just this scene between her and her mother, and it's them kind of like reconnecting, but like it feels like a completely different show. It feels like this whole other like thing that has nothing to do with like the kind of segment. And I think the reason they shot this episode is basically just like, okay, we'll get 2 characters and then we don't have to worry about the fact that all the other staff are now so famous that we don't have to worry about it. Like Io Dabri's in a bunch of stuff. I can't forget the name of the main guy, but you'll know him. He's the kind of very strange looking dude. I want to say he's kind of weird looking, but I can say he's weird looking because he's so fucking handsome. Like he's so off kilter attractive. It's unreal. And then there's Richie, who's like in the Fantastic Four movie now. And I think like my feeling is that they just could not get the staff back and had to just turn it into this kind of like parody. And like there's all these characters in the Bear, like Fak, who is this like kind of janitor cleaner guy, and it just feels like the show is so fucking in love with that character now that they just give him like entire episodes where he's buffing floors and John Cena is his brother, and they have this kind of dialogue where someone will come in like with a weird like turn of phrase, like, hey, have we used the crinkle cut method? And then like character B will be like, I don't know what the crinkle cut method is. And character A will be like, you don't know what the crinkle cut method is? And then character A will be like, character C, they don't know what the crinkle cut method is. And character C will be like, you don't know the crinkle cut. Like it's so weirdly in love with its own world that it's really like, it falls apart in terms of actually telling a story or like saying anything meaningful. And I think one of the biggest signs of that for me was this moment at the end of episode 3, right? It's the last episode. And for the first time ever, Carm, the main character, this chef who like comes back to reinvent this old restaurant, he comes face to face with his old toxic boss. And they meet at this party where this big restaurant is closing down. It's this moment that you've kind of been waiting for the entire series. And Carm says to him, I think about what you did to me every day. And the boss says, I don't think about you at all. And that, admittedly, is a really hard fucking line. The only problem is that if you've been watching TV for any length of time, you have probably heard that exact line in multiple other shows.
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
And it was this moment where if you love the Bear, or like for me, how this felt is like, if you love the Bear, it's like going to a restaurant that's weird and different and like has all these like really interesting items and the chefs really care. That line to me was them shoveling a plate of frozen fish sticks in front of you and being like, there you go. This just pre-canned moments that should be so important and so meaningful, but it's just this thing you've heard so many other times before, and it was just brutal. It was just so bad. So then you get into season 4. And now what season 4 have started to do is all these like incidental characters you met along that have like helped the different characters in all their journeys. They start to be employed. So first of all, like the story now is that the restaurant got a mixed review and it's not doing well financially. And so they go and they hire a bunch of other chefs, and it doesn't make any sense because they hire like 4 new people, even though like the restaurant is meant to be failing. That is not what you do with a failing restaurant. I have read books on restaurant management, so I kind of understand that maybe. The people they hire are like all these incidental other characters. So there's this one character, he was in the other amazing episode from episode 2 where the pastry chef for the Bear, that's the restaurant, goes to Copenhagen. And he learns to make pastries from this other chef. And the other chef tells him a story of how, like, at one point, he thought he was the best chef in the world until he met Carmi, until he met this person. And it was this moment of, like, profound defeat for this other pastry chef until Carm started helping him become a better chef. And it was this beautifully, like, powerful story about accepting when you are not the best. And then they hire that chef, and now he works at the restaurant. That dude is also super fucking handsome as well. I know the actor's never going to see this, but listen, if anything ever goes wrong with me and my wife, and you want to hang out, buddy, you give me a call, okay? So he's just like a character now, like a background character, but they don't know what to do with him because he was never originally written as anything other than this super important and meaningful story in this one episode. You know, and it's just, they do that with like 3 or 4 other characters. The waiter who's really into polishing forks, they bring him back. And it's like, oh, yep, there's that fucking dude. And it's the point where, like, it starts to feel like fan fiction because it's not carving its own path. It's kind of looking at the first 2 seasons and being like, well, what can we do that was kind of like them? And it's just profoundly disappointing. There's an entire episode where that takes place like under a wedding table. This little girl doesn't want to dance with her father because she's scared of dancing, and then they all say what they're scared of. And I don't know, I've seen some people be like, that was the best episode that of season 4, and it's like, yeah, it was the best episode in, like, I guess like a super mediocre season. But I don't know. I know I don't talk about shit too negatively on this channel often, but I just had to get this out because, man, like, The Bear season 1 and 2 are so fucking good, and I'm watching season 4 and it's so all over the place. It feels like that the show is now about Carm, the main chef, handing everything off to Ayo Dabri's character, which I'm all for because I love that character and I love Ayo Dabri as an actor. If you haven't seen her as April O'Neil in The Turtles, she's phenomenal. But it's also heavy-handed. Like, it feels like there's no subtext anymore. Every character just says whatever they're feeling all the time. You know, even Fack, the janitor, he's this character who's got, like, you know, tattoos all over his hands and his neck, and, you know, he's a big dude, and he's lovable because he doesn't ever seem like he gives a fuck what anyone thinks. And then in this season, there's this, like, 1-minute scene where he's like, I'm worried people think I don't belong here. But it's like that was never a thing with him before. It's like they just wanted to create a meaningful moment with him or something. I don't know. One of the worst parts of it, I think, as well, is, like, The Bear really felt like this exploration of, like, the extremely toxic environments that can be, like, I guess, restaurants and kitchens and all that kind of stuff. Like, you have the way people love to fetishize, like, that chef Gordon, you know him, he's like, all right, don't fucking do this, you fucking wanker. Like, Fox, you know who I'm talking about, put a picture of him up. Gordon Ramsay. A lot of the show feels like it really is trying to have this conversation about how toxic and high pressure restaurants can be. And then towards the end of, like, at the last episode of the 3rd season, they start having this, they do this weird thing where they bring all these celebrity chefs in and, like, have them say their own dialogue, and it's so fucking corny, but, like, celebratory of this industry that it's meant to be critiquing, and it just feels so toothless. You know, it's like when fucking Grimes married Elon Musk and she deleted Eat the Rich from her profile. That's how it feels. But yeah, it's a bummer. I hope if anything, people take this video as the highest recommendation for season 1 and 2 of The Bear, and maybe just go in with tempered expectations after that, because yeah, it made me sad, and I don't like being sad about television I love. But yeah, I hope this didn't come across too whiny. Guys, I'll be back 11 p.m. EST Friday.